announcement has been paid for.
Controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper.
Those Frutos in the house. Frutos in the house. For the Extreme Retro Review for ECW. September 14th, 1996. This is the 1996 edition of When Worlds Collide. It's been billed as the Extreme Reunion. So we in it's Extreme Retro Review number 219.
Oh shit, 219. Worlds are colliding right now because the FBI, comprised of JT Smith, the Italian Stallion, Little Guido, and Uncle Sal Balomo coming out.
Rest in peace.
You know what I'm saying? Speaking of rest in peace, JT Smith says that fellow Sicilian Tupac has died.
All right, so I just want to note that Sicilians are more darker skinned Italians. Yeah. So that's why he called him a Sicilian. Yeah. And he was a gangster.
Which makes sense.
So, props to JT Smith for the double subtle nine.
The FBI, they're trying to have us tribute and shit.
My nigga Guido started dancing. Yeah. That nigga looked like he had a case of the autism.
They're trying to honor Tupac's memory and shit. The gangsters are having none of that, though, because they come on out and just start to whooping on all three of the FBI members. I just do want to point out Big Guido was not out there, just so y'all know. So it's just Little Guido and JT and Uncle Sal. Hwould, you
nigga was like 2 shots and he was out of here.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I can't do nothing with you. You got beat up.
So, as I'm watching this shit, like, I'm thinking this was just turned into, like, a motherfucking scrum and shit where these niggas was fighting. Apparently, this was a match. Not only was this a match and shit, so, you know, I'm the paragon of professionalism and shit, so I watch this shit, and I also go on Googles and shit and read a couple, you know, other takes from across the multiverse and shit. So apparently, not only was this a match, but this was a match for the ECW Tag Team Championships. Just watching this shit, you would have no idea unless you did the extra homework. But the reason why this was so weird, the gangsters hit their finishing move on fucking Uncle Sal Balomo and shit. So this nigga's in street clothes. This nigga's in slacks. Like, he's not even wearing the motherfucking fat Roman gladiator shit no more. This nigga's wearing slacks and a motherfucking sport coat and shit.
That nigga look like Clemenza.
You know what I'm saying? This nigga out here stunting and shit, trying to look like Miami Vice for the hoes and shit. So, motherfucking Mustafa does the motherfucking setup slam and shit. New Jack goes up top with the chair, does the top rope chair smash on this nigga, gets the ref, he pins the nigga, ref counts 1, 2, 3, and this is what made me hit the internet, because I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. I just want to see what this was historically referenced as and shit. Like, is this a match? Keep in mind, I had no thoughts of the tag team titles being on the line and shit. So this went down as a title match, and they retained by pinning Uncle Sal. Your thoughts?
Negative infinity.
I feel like I spent too much time on that and shit. So that happens. And following that up right up after this match and shit, we have my nigga Joe Gertner. This motherfucker come out in a suit jacket, a motherfucking bow tie, and no motherfucking shirt.
Just taco meat everywhere.
And he playing this shit straight as fucking shit, which fucked me up even more and shit, cause I'm like, this nigga, how the fuck is you just out here in a fucking bow tie, a suit jacket, and no motherfucking shirt and shit. So he just out there and shit. So this is when I had to get serious and shit, cause apparently the great referee and manager Bill Alfonso has a Mexican cousin. You know what I'm saying? So I had to tighten up and shit. So Gertner, he introduces, I just want to say that one more time. This is the debut, and he's the cousin of, you know what I'm saying, he's Bill Alfonso, my nigga. It's his managerial debut, but he has on a referee outfit. From Havana, Cuba. Off of the banana boat and shit. We have Julio Cesar Valentino Alfonso.
Couple of notes.
People can hear I'm trying to pat. It went out now, but
Gertner is being called a faggot by the ECW crowd. I love that you called him Mexico Alfonso. Because that's what I wrote as well. This nigga is Mexico Alfonso. It is one and only shot in ECW.
yeah, so Julio Cesar Valentino Alfonso is the manager. I didn't even know who. So in the ring, I didn't know what was going on. Like, Gertner introduced this nigga, but in the meantime, it was Bad Crew and the former Green Ranger, the now Purple Ranger, Devin Storm in the ring and shit.
I called them the purple people.
And that works too, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just figured he switched up the Ranger colors and shit, and I'm like, damn.
Joey notes that Devin Storm is going to be facing off against Sandman. Sandman is being treated like a fucking god.
Oh, you already know.
Oh, he is so fucking over.
Oh, man, enter Sandman's playing over the PA and shit. Sandman just taking it all in, enjoying himself. On the solo tip, he's no longer with Missy Hyatt and shit.
Joey is sucking him the fuck off verbally. I thought Tommy Dreamer was in the match. Stay tuned.
Oh, man, but better Sandman than Tommy Dreamer as far as, you know what I'm saying, if he gonna hype a nigga up and shit. Sandman is 10 times over, is fair to say, to Tommy Dreamer, because ECW, like, they just cheer everything and shit that they cheer and shit. Apparently, Purple Ranger and Bad Crew, like, they ain't got time for Sandman to be getting his theme song on and posing it up with the crowd and making himself bleed and shit, so they get to attacking this nigga and shit.
It just jumped this nigga. The fucking song.
You know what I'm saying? So they get to beat this nigga down for a hot second and shit. Devin Storm, he tries to get a cheap win on Sandman with his little moonsault from the top rope and shit while Bad Crew's holding this nigga down.
I must note, these niggas went from cheating outside the ring to blatantly cheating inside the ring. The referee, who's got the slick back mullet at this point.
He sees it all. He didn't take a bump or nothing after this.
Right. What the fuck, man? Just letting the shit go.
Purple Ranger hits his moonsault. Bad Crew is holding Sandman down. One has his feet, the other one has his hands and shit, while Purple Ranger goes for the pin and shit. But Sandman, he ain't having none of this shit, because he whacks the ref right in the head with the cane.
Okay. So the nigga hits everybody, including the referee. Beats up the Bad Crew. Beats up the Purple Ranger. Beats up Mexico Alfonso. He ends up getting the pin on Storm.
Yeah. Because another ref came in and shit. But that's not where it ends.
Then this nigga DDTs the Bad Crew, K's them niggas, and DDTs them niggas. Pins both them niggas.
It one after another. It wasn't at the same time and shit. He pinned the first one and then pinned the second.
These niggas have to be leaving. I don't even remember any time they've won.
Oh, Bad Crew? Oh, yeah.
Like, has these niggas won ever? And then to get beat up in a match that they don't even belong in.
Right.
It was just billed as Devin Storm versus Sandman. These niggas get DDT'd one after another and pinned. You can't come back from that. It's over. It's over. Meanwhile, where the fuck is Damian Kane?
Oh, right, yeah, because he's always out with...
Like, these niggas is just gone.
Well,
I don't think the niggas here anymore. The lunkheads came through for like a quick shot. The little Abbies came through for like a quick shot. The dweebs came through for like a quick shot. Spiros Grecos. Now the Bad Crew is about to vamoose because you can't build these motherfuckers back. That's it. They were already jobbers. And then they got beat up, both of them up, in a match that they didn't even belong in. They're dead. They're dead. They're like Super Destroyer number 1. Remember Ultra Clash? Recounted by us, Extreme Retro Review number 26.
You're welcome.
Motherfucking Super Destroyer lost a mass versus mass match versus Super D number 2. Then the Dark Patriot came in, and they did the stove pile driver on this nigga and killed this nigga. Then unmasked this nigga too. He's dead. He's dead. This nigga in the Bad Crew is dead.
That's a hell of a way to go out, too. They lucky they wasn't on Sports Channel when Super Destroyer number 1 had his bon voyage.
They gave this match a dud. It was just preposterous.
I was just confused and shit. Like, it was just, like, it was 2 confusing matches back to back and shit, and I'm just like, oh, this nigga just beating everybody and shit. So we're not going to DQ Sandman for, even though he was rightfully, you know what, yeah, how can you DQ Sandman when the ref is watching this nigga being held down by 2 niggas who not even involved in the match and shit while another nigga hit the moonsault?
And then you cane this nigga, which is supposed to be a DQ as well. He just said, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what? My bad, Hack. I let these niggas in the match and they shouldn't have been. You know how ECW is.
Right, you know.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna let you pin these niggas too, man.
Right.
Kane, go ahead, use a cane, bro.
Following this shit up, we have Louis Spicoli. He's coming out to hit the ring for the ECW Television Championship. You know, he's going one-on-one with the franchise, second to last member of the greatest professional wrestling stable of all time, Hot Stuff International, founded by my hero, my mentor, and probably one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, the King of Philadelphia, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. I'm talking about Hot Stuff International, and I'm talking about the franchise, and the Extreme Championship Wrestling Television Champion, Shane Douglas. He's coming out with Francine, and how her titties did not get exposed, I do not know, because they were suspended by disbelief and a couple of Band-Aids.
Was she not looking skankalicious?
She was looking skankalicious, and she's right there right now in that particular shot looking at those titties. If you told me that you thought she was a man, I would have to kick you in the dick because I just could not see no man in that. And for those who may be new, the reason why I say that, because Hwould feels like any woman in professional wrestling has to have been a dude at one point. So, alright. So, moving on. These motherfuckers had a good ass match, in my opinion. Spicoli and Shane, like they looked like they was on the same playing field. They had a hard fought match. They fought in and out of the ring and shit. Spicoli was getting his shit off and shit. Ultimately, Spicoli, he had Shane set up for the Death Valley driver, acting like he was trying to get it off. Francine hit the ring and shit, pulled Shane down off of the nigga's shoulders and shit. Shane hit the Rude Awakening, a la Ravishing Rick Rude and shit. And then he hit him with his, I don't know how, but I used to cheer for a nigga that put niggas away with a leg drop. So how can I be mad at a belly to belly? But Shane put Spicoli away with the belly to belly. 1, 2, 3.
So here's my take on Spicoli. He can work.
Like a motherfucker.
But he's not as good as the midgets. Spicoli can talk. But he's not as good as Foley, Raven, or Austin. So where do you put a guy that's clearly good, but not great? It's evident that he gets it, but it's also evident in this match that he doesn't have it. The answer is, you job to Shane clean with the belly to belly for the win. I give this 3.25 stars. It was good, but not great. But I give props to the two competitors for covering up near botch spots and shit. You know what I'm saying? They know what to do in the ring, so I give props to competency during a wrestling match. So when shit, you have shit break down in matches nowadays, and the motherfuckers don't know what to do because they got choreographed spot. They got spot A, which leads to B, which leads to C. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, you got this match and they blow a spot, and, they might reverse the spot and do it in the opposite quarter. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to redoing the whole spot and just showing that this shit is Cirque du Soleil. So I give props to that. Freddie flipping off the crowd and telling them to jerk themselves off. Bumped it up to 3.5.
Oh, shit. Now, here's the shit that I didn't like was the post-match shit. So, they did all this shit to put Spicoli over in a loss and shit. And then they have this motherfucker in a coma with a broke neck and shit, having to get carried out by damage control and shit. I'm like, why do all this shit if, you're gonna have the motherfucker didn't move after he got covered and shit. He got carried off and it was on to the next segment and shit. Before we talk about the next segment, what did you think about the post-match part?
So, we're starting to build on the neck breaker aspect of the Shane Douglas character. Okay?
Okay.
So he's already, fucked up Gary's neck.
Yeah, Gary.
You know what I'm saying? He's already incorporated the single arm DDT into his repertoire. And this is a thing about Shane Douglas. Shane Douglas uses moves that parlay from stories, okay? Shane's in the match with Pitbull number 2, you know what I'm saying, for the ECW television title. Gary comes in. Shane hits him with a single arm DDT, fucks his neck up. Now Shane, in subsequent matches, is using that single arm DDT. He's using that full Nelson. He's getting over that neck breaker aspect to his career.
Yeah, I'll fuck your neck up, boy.
So we got Louis, who's good, but not great.
Yeah.
Selling that neck and putting Shane the fuck over.
Man, they should have did that to the Shaw or something, man. Like Louis is too new. For the fans is feeling him too and shit. Like, how you just gonna break his neck now and shit as soon as the motherfucker's starting to get hot and shit. So next up we have the tag team match. I imagine there were probably a lot of geeks in 1996 who were looking forward to this match and shit. It's the long-awaited, I guess, team up of Sabu and his up till then arch nemesis Rob Van Dam and shit. Facing off against Doug Furnace and Dan Crawford. They're hyping Dan Crawford up like he's Road Warrior Animal and shit. Like he's the greatest tag team specialist of all times. So they've been hyping this nigga up for coming into this show, and when Furnace said who this niggas was, I didn't know, like I couldn't understand what they were saying this nigga's name was and shit. So that was part of my research when I went to Google, cause like just listening to the shows and shit, I couldn't understand they was saying Dan Crawford and shit. I still gotta look at my notes and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, who the fuck is this nigga? But courtesy of the website that I didn't notate to give credit to and shit, the great tag team partner that world renowned, taking the world by storm everywhere he go, every single continent, all 7 of them. He's famous in Antarctica, everybody. Dan Crawford. Long story short and shit, this match ends up going to a time limit draw and shit. Starting off, it looked like Sabu and RVD weren't the best of besties and shit, because they was slapping each other in the chest when they was tagging in and out. Everybody beat the fuck out of each other with chairs in every way imaginable that you could think of. Sabu was leaping off of the motherfuckers, and RVD was doing his RVD backflip off the top rope moonsault leg springy thingy. Whatever you call that shit. Oh, now correct me if I'm wrong, but this was the first time that I noticed in this match where Rob Van Dam did the thumb point to himself with the Rob Van Dam.
He's starting to get it.
But was this the first time he used it, or has he used it before?
I mean, he's done it, but it's getting there.
Okay. So, well, this was the first time I paid attention. He hit the Rob Van. It wasn't on mic or nothing. He was just in the ring and shit. But yeah, time limit draw. I thought for the most part, I thought it was a pretty good tag team match and shit. Hwould, your thoughts?
I gave up.
Did you?
I tapped out. I tried to watch this shit a couple times, and I fought through it. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I just sat there and was like, God damn, how many fucking more moves can you do? You know what I'm saying?
They did do everything.
And the thing is, they kicked out of everything.
Yeah.
And Joey's trying to put over that Crawford is a hired gun for Taz during the commentary, and it's just so much to keep up with. I'm like, how do I watch this match? Do I just watch it as a spectacle, or am I supposed to pay attention to the storyline and the nuance of the fucking moves? Because otherwise, fuck this match. And I just gave it a half star for effort. They tried, but I wasn't fucking blown away. It was too many blown spots. It was just eh.
That's interesting, yeah, because it was definitely a lot going on. Like, I don't dispute nothing that you said, but it's probably because it was a lot of, for me, I didn't give a fuck who won and shit, so, like, I probably was a little more entertained by it was definitely extra and shit. Like, the match should have been, I think it went 20 minutes. It should have been over in like 7, for real. But
I mean, it was like the fans were booing botch spots, but then at the end of the match, they're yelling 5 more minutes. For what? You niggas is retarded.
Yeah. If y'all was in both of those segments of the shitting on the fuck ups and yelling 5 more minutes, you got a problem. But so post match, Rob Van Dam and Sabu do end up shaking hands and shit.
They were trying to do too much in a match, and I just couldn't keep up, and I just didn't like it.
So next up we have Taz with my hero, and I think someone who is a great role model for all the youth of America, and across the globe. Troubleshooting referee Bill Alfonso. By his side, we have Taz going up against the jobber extraordinaire Johnny Smith.
Holy shit. Was this not boring?
Basically it was an extended squash where Smith was able to hang around way too long. I think it went like 8 minutes. It could have been over in 2. He makes fucking Johnny Smith tap out to the Kata Hajime.
No, he actually passed out. Yeah, the referee TKO'd because he couldn't answer the three arm drop deal.
Oh shit, okay. But nevertheless, Johnny Smith, he loses to the Kata Hajime. Taz, he does give Johnny Smith some props. For whatever reason, I don't know why, he says he respects him. And afterwards he proceeds to mock Sabu and shit. And Hwould, your thoughts?
I was utterly bored by this match. I was severely drained from the preceding match. But I did find the post-match antics to be hilarious. Especially with Fonzie running around the ring, yelling, "Who can stop the path of rage?"
Fonzie's the motherfucking best. And then we have the main event. I don't know why this was the main event, but yet here we are. We have the Eliminators, featuring Saturn and Cronus, and Brian Lee, who are facing off against Tommy Dreamer and a reuniting Terry Bam Bam Gordy and the one and only Dr. Death Steve Williams.
So it's like 7 minutes left on this show.
Yep.
And this is clipped to shit.
Yep.
I didn't give a shit.
Yep.
I didn't give a shit. They did the spike on Brian Lee, but he gets countered
Telegraphed elimination.
for the win.
Total elimination was the highlight for me. My notes on this literally took up 3 lines. The first line was the names of the teams. The next 2 lines was the Eliminators hit total elimination on Terry Gordy and a very anticlimactic finish.
Overall, why? Just why? Shane and Louie couldn't save this shit. Thumbs down. Skip show. This is like a heavily edition of hardcore TV.
I thought this was a good show to watch high for myself personally, you know what I'm saying? So we have divergent opinions on this. Do with it what you will.
Coming up next, as we steamroll towards Stipomania 96, we're going to do a triple shot, starting with the September 17th, 1996 show. Until then, life is a work, so make sure you get paid for it. We out. Peace.
Peace.